So some cities are pushing ahead with new laws to give frontline grocery workers a raise. According to the United Food and Commercial Workers Union, over 28,000 grocery workers have tested positive or been exposed to the virus. Jonathan Vigliotti is in Long Beach, California, where the city council recently passed a hero pay ordinance for grocery workers. Jonathan, there has been pushback, though, or has there been pushback to this?
Yeah, and when we say hero pay, we're talking about hazard pay. And yes, Anne-Marie, there's been a lot of pushback, primarily from Kroger, the parent company of this Food for Less. They claim they simply can't afford to keep this store open. Employees that we have spoken to tell a different story. They say they have never been busier. And you're going to hear from a woman that we spoke with that said she believes this is retaliation for asking for pay she believes she deserves.
Bertha Ayala has worked the butcher counter at the Long Beach Food for Less for 14 years. Last year was the busiest and hardest.
When you go to work every day, do you worry about your health?
Oh, yeah, I'm very worried.
Worried for good reason. She's diabetic, 61 years old, and working 6 days a week because she was told her job is essential.
Do you feel like Food for Less recognizes you as a hero?
They said, but I don't believe it.
It sounds like you're saying they're not putting their money where their mouth is.
Yeah, and I feel like we are not important to them.
When Long Beach passed a mandate for hazard pay late last month, requiring chain grocery stores to pay $4 an hour more for at least 120 days, parent company Kroger announced the store was one of two closing. Their reason? The store couldn't afford to stay open.
Do you feel like you're stuck in the middle of politics here?
Yes.
Ayala's union says her Food for Less store saw sales from March to August rise 29% from the year before, and says according to financial records, Kroger, the largest grocery chain in the country, earned twice as much last year as the previous year. The hero pay ordinance has also prompted a lawsuit from the California Grocers Association. Ron Fong is the group's president.
You know, the one thing that we do agree with is that our employees are our heroes. However, it is really unprecedented to have a city council demand what businesses should do with their wages.
Fong says grocers should decide if they want to give employees hazard pay, and some have.
$2, it's $3, it's gift cards, gas cards. They are our heroes. And we have done everything possible that we can to keep them safe in our grocery stores.
Bertha says Kroger has given her a few gift cards to spend in its company's stores, but they're inconsistent and insufficient to hazard pay. Now she faces a pandemic without a job or health insurance.
I had to go to see the doctor very often.
So this job's a lifeline for you. Are you scared?
I'm really scared.
And Bertha says she wants her hazard pay, but more importantly, she just wants to keep her job. In a statement, Kroger says this ordinance unfairly targets big chain grocery stores. Anne-Marie.
You know, when I first heard this story, Jonathan, it feels terrible, and I feel horrible for the workers. Do we know if they close these stores, what will happen with the workers there?
Yeah, that's a big question. So this Food for Less closes if the plan continues as it is April 1st. Kroger again saying that they simply can't afford to keep it open. Bertha says that the employees inside this store have been told that they will be filtered into some of the other stores in the surrounding neighborhoods. But at this point, she hasn't been given a solid plan. And she's 61 years old. She is diabetic. She is simply worried about her health care, but also the impact that her age may have in her being able to find another job if, in the case, she can't get placed in another store owned by Kroger.
Totally, or maybe it just won't be something that's it's possible for her. Maybe it's further away from her home. It's going to be tougher to get there. Maybe she won't get the same amount of hours. There's so much uncertainty. You know, what about shoppers? Because when I heard this, I thought if this was my neighborhood store, I'd throw in an extra 50 cents or whatever every time I shop to help to boost. If I knew it was going directly to workers, any response from shoppers at all?
Yeah, we haven't spoken with shoppers directly, but we do know that a lot of shoppers are very frustrated, mainly because this store here is in a more low-income neighborhood. It serves a very specific need. 2 stores in this area owned by Kroger are being closed, including a Ralph's, which creates a food desert. So where they're going to find their food next, that's, of course, another big question. Hundreds of people come into this store every single day. It is a lifeline during COVID, and one that is going to be cut short if the plan continues as it is April 1st.
Oh, man, that is tough. And, the pandemic doesn't look like it's ending anytime soon anyway. Jonathan Vigliotti, thank you so much, Jonathan.
Thank you.